Are you planning on storing your car for a long period of time? Or maybe you're trying to buy a car that you're going to use as an investment piece that you're going to drive every other weekend or every once in a while. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, and welcome back to another Talking Mods. Today's subject is a little bit different. It's going to be something to hopefully help you guys out in terms of car storage. Now, car storage can be used in many different ways. Some people store their cars for the winter months. Some people have collector vehicles and they need to store their vehicles. So if you're planning on doing a long-term storage, hopefully you find this video useful. Or if you're thinking about purchasing a vehicle, I'm hoping to do another segment on vehicles that can go up in value, especially with the marketplace the way it is. Prices just keep going up. And sometimes it's worth just even buying some of these cars and riding the market and making profit. But you got to maintain those cars. So maintaining those cars, the long-term storage, that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. And if anything that we can do here to help you out, again, this is my shameless plug. Mod Bargains is our automotive shop online, aftermarket accessories, bumpers, coilovers, anything that you guys need. Okay, that was a shameless plug, but let's jump into it right away. So guys, when a car is left for weeks on end, months on end especially, the moisture inside can prevent problems such as the fuel injectors having issues, corrosion happening within the fuel tank. So the common way that most people say to combat this is to fill up your tank to the maximum level before putting it away for storage. I kind of recommend using a fuel stabilizer as well. I think this is a critical one that a lot of people forget about when they leave their car for long-term storage. So put a fuel stabilizer, it's like $4, just put it into the tank, especially, and don't forget to fill up your gas tank. That will help out in the long term. Even if it's a weekend car, it's a good thing to do. You don't have to use the full amount, but again, even as a weekend car, I think try to leave it with a full gas tank if you're not going to be driving it regularly. So the next one is one that I have personally dealt with myself. Now, a lot of this information is actually coming from my own personal. I have a 911 Turbo and I've kept it in long-term storage. The reason for it is I actually just I just don't drive it that often, and the value kept on appreciating. So I said to myself, I'm going to put it away. Now, this one, I learned the lesson the hard way. The hard way basically was in the battery. The battery will drain over time and it can cause major problems, especially when you're trying to start it up again. It's time to, hey, I need to get the juices flowing, right? I need to get it turned on. Sometimes this will reset the radio. This will cause, there's a catastrophic amount of problems that can happen, right? But what you want to do is put your battery on a trickle charger. Now the trickle chargers out there, I'm not trying to endorse anybody. We are not paid. This is not sponsored. And yes, we sell products, and we do sell this one on the website because going through my own tribulations with it, I said, okay, this is the only product that is actually working. So brands like Battery Tender just didn't work on my vehicle. And if they want to reach out to me, they're welcome to. But the only one that I truly recommend to people is ctek. It's used by the OEMs. They actually make specific ones for vehicles. You can just get the basic one. That is the one to get, and that will really help you guys out in terms of the battery life and not having to deal with all these other electrical issues that can come up. All right, the next one. Now your car is being stored. Now this is if you can, obviously, it's a nice to have. This is again for a really long-term storage, but tires can develop a flat spot. Also, having the vehicle sit down is also just continuing to put the pressure, the weight onto the shocks. So the next one comes up with oil. Now this one I really think also can apply to the weekend guys, and I will explain. Now, oil can also have, again, moisture, just like I explained with the fuel, moisture in the air. This happens also with our brake lines. Moisture in the air, water develops, can happen also within the oil. Now, it won't happen to the extent that it happens within the fuel tank, but oil will eventually get old. That's number one. But the number one problem that I end up seeing is with oil is, again, now you've got it, Again, think about lubrication. You can think about it within a watch. There's oils used in a watch, and there's lubrication. There's oils used in your car, and there's in your engine. It needs to continuously be lubricated, right? So what ends up happening as the car has been sitting, eventually oil will drain down. It takes a long period of time. It's usually pretty well lubricated, but over time it will drain. My recommendation, and not for everybody, but if it's a long-term storage vehicle, use an oil that's an ester-based oil over a synthetic. Now, the reason for it is ester will basically adhere to the walls of the engine cylinders a lot nicer, well, a lot stronger over time, so that when you go back in and do what's called a cold start. Cold start is the first time you're turning it on. After a long period of time, there won't be metal to metal. You won't have that metal to metal situation where once metal to metal happens, you get the metal shavings. When I'm talking about metal shavings is when you go and get your oil, you drain your oil, there'll be metal shavings sometimes within it. You don't want that. That's only going to cause problems and engine problems down the line, acceleration issues and so forth. So if you can use an ester-based product, brands like Motul 300V, that's what I recommend for long-term storage vehicles, even the guys who are driving on the weekend. If you're not driving a whole lot, then you should really consider getting an ester-based oil. Yes, you're going to pay slightly more, not talking about huge amount more over synthetic. We're talking about maybe about 20% more, but it's going to save the life of your vehicle, and it's actually going to run the engine a lot better. So another piece of advice. So another big one is the exterior of the car. Now, as the car sits. Now, if it's going to be sitting outside, you should get a car cover. But car covers will eventually get dirty, and there will be dirt that can get underneath, and as wind hits it, and it basically becomes like sandpaper. So be careful of that. So you want to keep your car clean the day you decide, hey, I'm going to put it in storage. But if your car is clear broad or ceramic coated, I think ceramic coating is a nice, affordable option. You can also do it yourself. That will help prevent it from in the elements, either outside or inside. Even on the inside, it will develop a layer of dust, dirt, and all that stuff. So when I've been storing my vehicle, I had it completely ceramic coated. And now when it's time to, do that cold start, the first time it's started up, I will just basically hose it down, wash it, and hopefully the ceramic coat has held up, which it will hold up over a long period of time since it hasn't been exposed to the sun, and the exterior will still be in good condition. So treating the exterior is a pretty important piece. If you have clear broad, you're fine. That will obviously protect it from the elements. But again, if it's going to be a short period of time, just keep it clean when you're putting it away so that it doesn't have a layer of dirt or wax or anything that will basically eat away into its clear coat. If a bird pooped on your car and you're gonna go put it away into storage, even for a weekend, that will basically eat away your clear coat and could eventually get into your paint. So keep it clean. Just a piece of advice there. All right, but what about the interior? Keeping your interior clean from food and all that stuff will help. Now, long-term storage, it will help keep away rodents and stuff like that. Too many times I've heard about rodents going in, trying to get inside a car. That happens a lot. But inside the car, you want to keep it clean. You don't want funky smells, especially in long term. Using baking soda is a great option. Just buy the baking soda, put it in there for the next 6 months, and that will help keep it fresh when you go in for, again, that first time. So another piece of advice on the interior. The other thing is not to put your car into park. So I know that you're inclined, a person is going to be inclined to put it in the parking brake is what I mean. I did the motion, but I didn't say parking brake. So don't put on the parking brake. If you can just park it, not have an issue, you can put the wheel things to hold it in place underneath. That would be the smart way. Or again, if it's on the jack, the proper way, you don't really have to put it in, you don't have to engage the parking brake. So that's another good piece of advice there. And then last but not least, it's our bonus one. Hopefully you have stuck all the way through. Hit your comments because I probably have forgotten some great ideas that you might know about. and I think it's great to share it. And if you hopefully like this video, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It really does help us out, guys. And anyway, again, the last one, your wiper blades. They can also get destroyed over time. They basically, as they're being pushed against the windshield, quick, easy way is either to just remove them, or if you want to leave them on, just wrap them up in a plastic wrap. That will basically help prevent from the elements. Or if you're going to leave it on the car, then just wrap it with the plastic wrap on the vehicle. That is a nice tidbit as well to maintain those wiper blades, if the wiper blades are important to you. Guys, I look forward to your comments, and thanks again. I will see you on the next Talking Mods.